Hi guys! In this video you'll see how the actors of the TV series Heartbeat 1992-2010 have changed. You'll know their real names and age. I will show you how they look then and what's with them now. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! PC Phil Bellamy, Mark Jordan, is a servant of the law who is not without a sense of humor and kind-heartedness. He knows how to show purposefulness and some spontaneity. He doesn't show selfishness and can sacrifice his interests for the sake of his loved one. PC Mike Bradley, Jason Durr, is an active crime fighter who is used to doing the right thing. He's not known for being timid, but it can sometimes be difficult to get him emotional. He's not used to being persistent and knows how to show understanding to people. David Stockwell, David Lonsdale, is not whimsical in his work as long as it's paid. He is characterized by good-heartedness and clumsiness, but he is also not very smart and often succumbs to the influence of others. He never walks without his hat. Sergeant George Miller positions himself as a purposeful and extremely responsible person who strictly adheres to the law. He doesn't give any concessions, including for his relatives, but still tries to provide some help to his children, played by John Dutty. PC Jeff Younger, Stephen Blakeley, strove to become a good policeman, but often behaved stupidly and could make mistakes. Despite his character flaws, he shows determination and was able to achieve some success in his work. Was romantically interested in Bellamy. PC Al Fuentes has a considerable experience but hasn't been overly ambitious in his work. Is somewhat slow, enjoys smoking, and doesn't care too much for anything that might bring discomfort to others. Played by William Simmons, who died in 2019 of cancer. Maggie Balton was Neil's spouse and provided medical care within Evansville. She's not prone to conflict and tries to maintain appropriate relationships with everyone. Severe emotional distress can throw her off balance. The role is played by Kaja Pala. Oscar Blakeley is a sergeant who had a strong dislike for Claude. He's characterized by stubbornness and increased suspicion. He's used to speaking openly what he thinks. Has a son, Graham, played by Derek Fowles, who died of pneumonia in 2020. Bernie Scripps has his own workshop in Evansville and may occasionally drive a taxi. He's quite enterprising, not lacking in organizational skills, but sometimes can be influenced by others. Played by Peter Benson, who died in 2018 following a short illness. Peggy Armstrong is Florence Stockwell's only sister. She often shows intelligence and tries to be prepared for any scenario. She leads a dishonest lifestyle and often organizes fraudulent schemes. Peggy is not without cunning. The role is performed by Gwen Taylor. Claude Jeremiah Greengrass is an inveterate offender who often gets involved in various stories and associates with dubious individuals. Although he is somewhat irritable, he is not aggressive, who died following a fall in 2018. Lord Ashfordley is an aristocrat and doesn't like to see anyone infringe on his property. He is not indifferent and is capable of understanding the situation and helping others as much as possible. Prefers to stick to honesty. Played by Rupert Mustard. PC Nick Rowan, Nick Barry, was Kate's husband until her death. He is characterized by a kind-hearted and strong-willed character. He tries not to live in the past, but to move forward, despite difficulties and obligations. Tries to adequately perceive changes. Vernon Scripps is related to Bernie. He is engaged in entrepreneurial activities and is a generator of ideas, but can also develop rather daring plans. Differs in agility and intelligence. Played by Jeffrey Hughes, who died in 2012 from prostate cancer. Sergeant Craddock is Penny's husband. adhering to honesty, but sometimes can behave smug and arrogantly. In some cases, he can compromise, but in general, he's categorical in work matters. Credit loves to ride a bike. The role is performed by Philip Franks. PC Rob Walker, Jonathan Carrigan, behave quite similarly to Mike Bradley in work situations. He's resilient and tries to abstract himself from negative external influences. Rob is not an insensitive person, but he tries to keep his emotions under control. Rosie Cartwright, Vanessa Hayer, was an employee of Bernice. She is well-versed in mechanics and has a keen interest in automobiles. She is not inherently secretive and is accustomed to cooking straight about what she thinks and is not used to being shy. Carol Cassidy works as a local nurse. She feels comfortable in her activity field, respects her independence, and can act decisively. Not against relationships, but tries not to rush headlong into them, but to remain reasonable. The role is played by Elza Kay. Fiona Weston, Wanda Wentham, is a blood relative of Joe. She looks like a sophisticated woman, not lacking in taste, but it's not uncommon for her to violate Dora's personal boundaries. Wants the best for Joe, and it sure knows which man would be best for her. Mrs. Swinton is local to Evansfield. She's not afraid to seek medical help and clarify issues that concern her. She's characterized by caring to children and goodwill, but she also knows how to be moderately strict. The role is played by Leslie Nichol. George Ward was the owner of the Evansfield Arms until it was inherited by his relative Gina. He can act carefree, sometimes unrestrained, and be unshakable in some situations, able to reconsider his opinion about others. The role is played by Stuart Gollins. Jackie Lambert serves as counsel for the defendants. She's characterized by perseverance in work, the ability to act tough, and make quick but informed decisions. She is able to think adequately and is not devoid of emotionality. She was played by Fiona Dolman. Dr. Kate Rowan, Neon Cusack, is married to Nick and also practices as a doctor in Evansfield. She enjoys the trust of her patients because she is caring, well-qualified, and attentive. Can act timid at times. She has sacrificed herself to give birth to her daughter. PC Joe Mason, Joe McFadden, is not a typical police officer and doesn't always obey the instructions given to him. He can behave self-confidently in the service, which is not always understood by others. Accustomed to acting as he sees fit, including using force. Dr. Liz Merrick is Jerry's own daughter. She is ready to take drastic measures regarding her safety and is not inclined to tolerate inappropriate treatment. There is confidence in her actions, and she knows when to act decisively. Played by Aislinn McGuckie. PC Don Weatherby took over after Phil's death. He can sometimes act a little hastily and can treat other people indelicately. He is distinguished by his diligence, doesn't tolerate infidelity, and also has increased conscientiousness. Played by Rupert Ward Lewis. Dawn Bellamy was a close relative of Phil. She is a bright and energetic girl with a sweet appearance and a charming smile. She is not devoid of confidence and is able to clearly voice her feelings to the person she likes. The role is played by Nikki Sanderson. Jane Black, Lauren Drummond, is one of Debbie's daughters. She is an average teenager who doesn't always listen to her parents and reacts sharply to any complaints made against her. She is a rather sweet but emotional girl, doesn't try to please everyone. Maggie, like Walker, lives in the village of Evansfield. She is not distinguished by cowardice, restraint, but is not able to resist properly against an aggressive man. She doesn't tend to leave things unfinished. The role is played by Jane Hazelgrove. Gina Ward, Tricia Penrose, tended bar at Idensfield Arms and later became its manager. She often acted rebellious, but was able to become more sensible while maintaining the same resilience. Doesn't like being cheated by guys. She wasn't lucky in love. Sergeant Noakes performed Craddock's work duties for some time. She has an attentive approach to work, quickly navigates the situation, and can be tough in decisions. She's capable of taking initiative, including relationships. The role is played by Georgie Glenn. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it on social networks, like it, and of course subscribe to the channel.